Alabama gets a really bad rap among the other states. They always think something bad's going on. I've even heard some people label us the worst state ever. So what's that really about? Is that fair? I'm gonna go over it in this video as well as compare it to some of our other southern states so we can find out which is the best state and is Alabama the worst?
If I was forced to move somewhere, then I'd probably have to say Georgia. And I wouldn't go north anywhere because it gets too cold, and I wouldn't go further south because it gets too hot.
Virginia is beautiful. It also has a beach, it's got sunny weather.
I'd probably go to Florida because I love the sunshine and I love beaches.
Place I'd like to go, southern state that is, I think would be Florida. And number one reason is golf. I like to golf and there are a ton of golf courses down there, number one. Number two, it is extremely warm and I get cold real easily.
My knee-jerk reaction would probably be to say like on a beach, maybe Florida. But if I'm being honest, I'm sorry Florida, but I don't think that I could handle your heat. So I think I'd probably have to choose Asheville, North Carolina. But Asheville just has a really cool vibe to it. So I really love all the artist community there. There's tons of great breweries and coffee shops and just lots of cool things to do.
So why is everyone wanting to move to Florida? Have you guys ever heard a good story that started with a man from Florida? Go ahead, I'll wait. No, you haven't, because it just doesn't happen. Like 2 days before I recorded this, a guy tried to rob a Publix in Florida with a stapler. You don't hear about that anywhere else in the country. There have also been guys that were trying to shoot down Hurricane Irma when it came through in Florida, as well as a man that was charged with assault for throwing a gator through a drive-through window. You can't make these things up. This is insane, and these kinds of things happen in Florida. Why would you want to go there and live among these kinds of crazy things that are going down? I know. People are probably super excited because they have great weather, except for hurricanes, and because of the beautiful beaches. But let me introduce you to Gulf Shores and Orange Beach. These are two gorgeous beaches that we have here in Alabama that will rival any Florida beaches out there. And I've even had friends that are not from this area that have been to this beach and they're like, I cannot believe I'm in Alabama. Like, this looks like something from the Caribbean because it's that pretty.
This is easy for me. Number one is a 4 major sports professional major league team. So it could be baseball, it could be basketball, it could be football, even could be hockey.
Okay, so this one is true for us as well. We do not have any professional sports teams. However, we do have 2 amazing college university programs. So here in Alabama, you are either a Roll Tide fan or a War Eagle fan. Like, there's no in between. You're gonna love one, hate the other. That's basically just the way it is. And they're both pretty good teams. They've kind of had their times where one will be a leader over the other one. And Alabama's been the powerhouse for the past few years. So they really don't care if we have a pro team because Alabama football is all anybody cares about around here. So that kind of takes care of everybody's urge because it's a big deal. We don't care about the Super Bowl parties. Like, we care about the national championship parties here. But if you do have to have a professional sports team, you can go because all of our states that border us do have a pro team. So Tennessee, Georgia, Florida, they all have a professional sports team. So depending on where you live, you can easily go over there, hang out, check out the sports team. And let's not forget that the Atlanta Braves are the 2022 World Series champs. So shop on for the Braves and go enjoy that while you're there.
A very large city to go visit. Not to live in, but just to go visit. I'm here in Charleston. We've got Columbia. We have Greenville. So Columbia and Greenville are going to be the 2 biggest, but they don't even fall within the top 100 largest cities in America.
Okay, so we do definitely have a large city, and that is Birmingham. Birmingham is basically just a little bit of a smaller Atlanta. We have the diversity, and it's like a melting pot here. We have an airport. Now, granted, this airport is not like the biggest airport like Atlanta is, but that's pretty nice if you're trying to get to a flight. In Atlanta, you gotta get there at least 2 hours before your flight because I barely made it the other day and I got there right at 2 hours. Birmingham, easy day. Show up 20 minutes before your flight leaves and you're good to go. And if it's somewhere that it doesn't go directly from Birmingham, you can easily take a quick little 55 minute flight to Atlanta, and then boom, you're on your way, ready to go to whatever destination you want to. We also have tons of concerts here, so we've got venues that we get all the major concerts coming through here. And then, have you heard of Talladega Motor Speedway? It's kind of a big deal around here, especially if you're a race car fan. There was even a movie about it. I think I've seen that one. And people come from all over. They'll camp there whenever it's the big weekends. We just have a lot of cool things like that that attracts a big crowd.
I wish all of southwestern Virginia was part of North Carolina. I wish it had more land, all of that beautiful area in southwest Virginia.
Okay, we definitely have plenty of gorgeous landscape here. And if you've seen any of my videos, you've heard me talk about Cheaha State Park. It's right there on the East Alabama line. Gorgeous views. It's the highest point in Alabama. You can see for literally miles and miles during the day, and at night it's super gorgeous with the lights lit up. They have everything. They have camping where you can camp and get to enjoy the amenities even more. They have rappelling and rock climbing. Of course, you have to bring your own equipment and stuff, but there's just tons of things to do. Hiking on the trails, like there's just all kinds of things to do, and it's just gorgeous here. And we have spots like that all over the state of Alabama. Like, it's really a beautiful state. And then, of course, not to mention the beaches.
I would probably have to say a beach.
Did have would be oceans, because I love feeling my toes in the sand.
Okay, if you haven't heard me say this 5 times already in this video, we definitely have this one covered. Let me tell you, Gulf Shores and Orange Beach. So these are great spots for your family. They are very affordable. So it's not gonna be a whole lot cheaper than like some of the Florida places, but because it's not quite as crowded as Florida, you can get it for a better deal a lot of times. And it just gets more of that intimate feeling. They still have plenty to do, plenty of places to eat, plenty of activities to go, you know, ride the golf carts and play putt-putt golf at night, and that's fine and stuff, but you do get more of that small town feel to it, and everybody loves that. And then, like I said, our water's crystal clear blue, white sand. Our family goes there and we love to take a trip. And we also have Mobile, which is a port that we have here in Alabama. Get on it, go on your cruise, take off for a week, and get to see the Caribbean or wherever else you want to go to. But that's super nice because you don't have to hike it all the way down to Miami or leave from some other crazy place. It's right here in our backyard.
I think the biggest complaint is that it floods a lot. And I think from people that live here, it can be a little bit of a problem, but I wouldn't say it's like awful and people wouldn't whine about it too much. I think it's mostly from people that don't live here that think it floods a lot more than it actually does.
Flooding is a real issue anytime you are at sea level, below sea level, near a large body of water. Now, if you're living down in South Alabama, this could be a real issue because you're down there near the Gulf Coast. However, with us here in the mid to upper, we're perfectly fine. Like now, if you live on a lake, there's a chance that lake could flood and it could come up, you know, into your thing. And when I lived on Lake Wedowee, we had a pretty flat lot. And there was one time it rained so much, we were really worried that it was gonna come into our house because the waters had risen that much. But if you know anything about Lake Wedowee, it's generally a pretty steep lake. So unless you've got like one of the rare flat lots, you don't have to worry about it because you have to have like Noah's Ark to get that flood up to your house if you have one of the big ones. Typically here, unless you live in one of those specific ones on a river, on a lake, you don't have to worry about flood insurance. So that is the good thing about our state here.
There are 2 different types of people here. We have racist rednecks and preppy rich people. That's not 100% all true. Yes, they exist. They kind of exist everywhere, but I think TV has glorified that. There are plenty of normal people just like me.
Okay, I definitely would not call us preppy. Maybe a tiny little community somewhere might have some prep going on, but you're more likely gonna find us in like some cowboy boots with hats. I'm running to the store, you need anything? You know, my dad has like 4 pairs of overalls. Like, that's just kind of the way that we are. But I do want to address racism because racism is very real. It's very real in this country. But I do feel like the South can get an unfair glance at that at times. And I do know we definitely have parts of Alabama that are racist. I mean, we do. But I think there's also parts all over the country that have the same problem. I think it just depends on where you are and kind of what's going on there. But just like we have some of those parts that do lean towards racism, we also have some really great diverse parts, like up towards Birmingham and some of those more city-like areas. They're definitely more diverse and have more of that melting pot feel.
And maybe it really just applies more to Nashville than the state as a whole, but people seem to think that Nashville especially is just all country music and cowboys, and that is just simply not true.
We do not wear shoes, and I can very much assure you that we do wear shoes every single day, and we are not a bunch of hillbillies.
Like every time someone hears I'm from Alabama, there's almost always a cousin joke, like always. But like, what's the big deal? Like everybody had crushes on their cousins, right? I'm totally kidding. I had crushes on my cousin's friends and actually ended up marrying one of them, so that was a win for me, right? But seriously, everybody thinks that we're kissing cousins and my father is my brother and soon to be uncle, however that works. I don't even know, but that's what everybody thinks. And I literally cannot think of anyone that married a cousin, at least it was like related. They were like way, way far down the line, didn't even know each other if they did. Or kissed a cousin or did anything weird with cousins. Like, I just don't know anybody that did that. Okay, we also get a really bad rap for this one about the missing teeth. The missing teeth. But I can do a visual for you. Ooh, I got something in that one. All my teeth are there. We're good. Excuse the spinach that's in there. But we have all of our teeth. Now, granted, do I see people missing teeth? Yes, sometimes. And depending on where I go, that may be more likely than others. But as a general rule, most of the people that I know have all their pearly whites, and if they're not real, they at least have dentures. Now, this hillbilly redneck image, that really kind of hits home, I feel like, with Alabama, Tennessee, and Kentucky. But keep in mind now, these states all have the Appalachian in them. Alabama is at the very end of that, but it really goes through Tennessee and Kentucky, and that is the poorest parts of our country. So naturally, you're going to think of a little bit more kind of hillbilly. I can hear the banjo playing right now, like going on with that, but we are more on the end of that. Now, I'm not telling you we don't have redneck tendencies, because we definitely do. Like, I have seen my cousin in cut-off jeans with his boots on. I can't tell you how many times. Oh, and it was super hot. Just kidding. It's just a thing. So we do have some of those tendencies, but I feel like we are probably a little bit more on the forward fashion thing than some of the states are.
Is that it's boring because there's not a lot to do here. And I will say that in North Carolina, you kind of have to find your own fun.
Okay, we are definitely not boring. We are anything but that. We have something for everyone here. So like I was telling you, we've got the motor speedway if you like racing. We've got the city life if you want to go out and enjoy a night out, you know, eat, drink, go hang out at a concert or wherever. We've got all that. But then we also have these really cool spots, like I was telling you, Cheehaw, where you can go, hang out, see the views. We still have dirt roads here. So if you want to ride an ATV and just ride for miles and miles, have at it, because we've got that. We have tons of trails that you can also do that on. Like, we just have a lot of good things. I've already told you about the beaches, so you know that if you want to go get some vitamin D, head on down and crash a wave or two. We have Lake Wedowee if you want to get on the lake and enjoy the boat life. So we've got a little bit of everything for everyone. Also, Georgia is becoming like a mini Los Angeles because it's cheaper to record there. So we're seeing a lot of people move there, and they are making our way towards Alabama. So you want to run in with a celebrity, get out there, take your chance. May even sign a few autographs for you, you never know. We've just got a little bit of it all. So what do you think? Is Alabama that bad? I don't know. If you are still wondering, make sure you check out this video next. As always, I'm your unicorn real estate agent helping you turn your home dreams into a reality.